Hello, my name is Jorge Avila, and today I will present my final project of Challenge 5, a Spring and Spring Boot in Java for Web Applications, part of the Mexico program Backend Developer Certification. In this challenge, I used a lot of technologies like Spring Boot, H2, Swagger, and other technologies. This is part of Digital Now, Tecmilenio, and Technoready. So, let's start and see what I did for this challenge. Well, what we are going to see in this video, first we have the business summary, second, problem context and objectives, third, tech stack and results, fourth, impact and value, five, the code architecture, sixth, the test, and finally, the conclusion of this challenge. Talking about the business summary, the goal of this challenge is to develop a robust Spring Boot REST API with multi-environment configuration like developer, like production, and testing to restore Melis order management system, eliminate operational failures, and establish a reliable foundation that prevents future technical crises. The impact that I expect for this challenge is to restore customer confidence by eliminating order system errors, enable seamless order management across dev, test, prod environments, as I said before, and reduce customer complaints to zero, and recover business revenue through improved system reliability and operation excellence. The problem contest phase we have significant financial losses, damaged company reputation, order placement failures, and the clients are unable to view or modify orders. Our solution is to transform Melis orders management into a modern Spring Boot application with multi-environment support, comprehensive API documentation with Swagger, and robust testing suite. The objectives of this challenge, first we have 3 sprints. In sprint 1 is the API development. First, the first objective of this sprint is to REST up API with CRUD operations using Spring Boot. The second objective is the database configuration, H2 for testing and development environment, and PostgreSQL for production environment. And 3, auto-run scripts to auto-run the project and install all the dependencies. 4, the Postman collection for testing. In Sprint 2, we have the environment configuration. First, the Sprint profiles, dev, test, and production using the YAML files or .properties files, but in this case, for this challenge, I used YAML files. And also system variables implementation, it's the .env file. And third, secure configuration management using the .env file. In Sprint 3, we have advanced features. First, Swagger and Open API integration. Second, unit and integration test using JUnit, and also complete API documentation. All these sprints have to be uploaded to GitHub to the Digital Now team can check it. And the user stories that I implement for the challenge, first we have the project manager wants backlog and roadmap for clear priorities. In the second, customers use one reliable order storage without data loss. And US3 is customers want to create, view, update, and cancel orders seamlessly. In the US4, we have customers want consistent platform performance across all environments. US5, we have support agents want clear documentation to troubleshoot efficiently. And also in US6, we have executives want thorough testing to prevent for future outage. And US7, investors want evidence of technical improvements and business impact. The tech stack that I use for this challenge, the technologies are first for database I use PostgreSQL for production and H2 for dev and test. The backend is using Java with the Spring Boot. The architecture that I use is layered architecture. The testing, I use Postman and Unit, also a little bit Mockito. And for the documentation, I use Javadoc plus Swagger, and for version control Git and GitHub. And the API endpoints that we are going to deliver is we have the endpoints for orders. The first endpoint is to retrieve all or only active orders using the parameter active only. If you put this parameter in true, it's going to give you only the orders that are active in this moment. And they get for retrieves all orders for a specific user. They get for retrieves a specific order. The post to create a new order for a specific user. The put to update an order details, and the delete to delete a specific order using soft delete. Soft delete means that there is an attribute in the orders table that tells you if that order is active in this moment or if that order is deleted. For products, we have the endpoint to retrieve all or only active products. The endpoint get to retrieve a specific product. The post to create a new product. The put to update order a product. And the delete to delete a specific product, also using soft delete. And the same endpoints for user, but using users instead products. And the results versus goals, metrics and achievement. And the goal for this challenge is to create API endpoints. I create 16 endpoints to make CRUD operations. I complete that. To complete all the user stories, I complete 100% of the user stories. Testing, I create 16 Postman tests, 27 integration tests, and 37 unit tests. And for the documentation, 100% coverage with Swagger and Javadoc. The impact and the value for the users: reliable order placement without errors, real-time order management, seamless order modification and cancellation, consistent experience across all times. For business, restore customer confidence, zero system downtime, prevent revenue loss, improve operational efficiency, scalable architecture ready for growth, and also professional deployment practices. Talking about the code architecture, in this part I'm going to open the IDE and I will show first the source folder structure. Here we have the config folder, that is Spring configuration classes like web configuration and also another configuration. The controller, there are REST controllers, the DTO, that data transfer object, the entity, the API entities, the exception, I create a custom exception for each error, repository, Spring data repository, service, the business logic, and the utility classes like mapper between DTO and entities. The key feature to highlight is that I use layered architecture using separation of concerns, Spring data GPA, database operation like the queries you make to the database, unit and integration test, global exception handler, centralized error handling using a global handler exception, and environment profiles like the config manager, and also Swagger integration and API documentation. Also, I'm going to show you like the Postman test. So let's see the code. So here we have the code. I'm going to show you the most important is first the OpenAPI configuration. Here we have the configuration of Swagger. In the controllers, the 3 controllers, and here we have order controller with all the endpoints, product controller, and also user controllers with all the endpoints. The DTO, the most important thing thing here is the success response. This message is going to be shown when you have a success request from the server and success response. And the error response, here we have if you make a bug request, you are going to receive this type of JSON. And also the entities, the exception. Here we have my global exception handler. When here the each exception for each error. Also the service, the business logic of all the project, and also this the mapper util to map DTOs into entities and vice versa. And also that the most important thing for this part. So, and another important thing are the application YAML. Here we have the configuration of our application, the configuration of the profiles. In this moment, I'm going to change this profile to dev profile to use H2. And the configuration of login, I have a logger for this project. Logger means that it's going to store all the movements or all the of the logs you receive into the txt file. And here we have like our logs generated by the application, and also that. So here we have the application dev. In this profile, I'm using H2 database and also create drop. And the production for the production, I'm using Postgre. This is for the .m file, where is the URL, username, and also the password. And that for the test, I use the same for the test as for the using of production, only that the test runs all the tests at the beginning of the application. So let's end this data SQL and insert data into the tables. When you use H2 is running in memory, so you have to insert each time that the application starts to populate your database. So let's run the application. And the application is running in dev environment. It means that I'm using H2. First, I'm going to show Swagger. Here we have the Swagger UI. In this, here we have to get all the orders. Swagger is to document your code. Orders, you receive a code 200 orders retrieved successfully, and also that. And for this, try out, execute, and you receive all the orders. And that's for Swagger. And you can retrieve all the products if you want, try out, execute, and you can try your API here. But also I use Postman to test the endpoints. Here we have the endpoint of the products to retrieve all the products. And here we have the description, timestamp status message, retrieve 3 active products successfully. And also you can retrieve, create a new order. So you create a new order, and sorry. In this I made an error because I missed an S here, so it doesn't work. But now works successfully. And also to retrieve all the orders and get order by user ID. Here you can get all the orders for the users and retrieve 2 orders successfully for user 1. And here we have all the orders for the user. And in this part, you can if you want to create another, you can like select a lot of products into one order. And also that I think this is the most important things of the code. And sorry, what missing to show you the test. For to run the test, and we have to run this command mv clean test compile execute java pet pro, profile test. So let's run that command, and the application is running in the test environment, and also is going to run all of our 16 tests. Test found 64, test execute 64, test succeed 64, test fail 0, test skip 0, and the duration. And also the application is running in this moment in the test environment. So, talking about testing and quality, we have unit test for service layer business logic, input validation, error handling scenarios, and edge cases. For the integration test, we have full API endpoint testing, database operation, request and response validation, and also the authentication flows. For Postman collection, all 16 endpoint tests, success scenarios, error scenarios, and edge cases. The conclusion, what we deliver, fully functional REST API, production ready with 16 endpoints, multi-environment support, dev, test, prod configuration, robust database, PostgreSQL with proper API integration, better system reliability, zero downtime, zero complaints, clean code, lighted architecture, maintainable, complete testing, unit integration, and API test, professional documentation with Swagger, README, and also Java Doc. And for end users, place and manage order with confidence, no more errors, no more frustration, just seamless shopping experience. For Melody Business, restore the level order management system that recovers custom trust, prevent revenue loss, and establish operational excellence for sustainable growth. Closing, mainly order system from crisis to excellence, from system failures, customer complaints, and revenue loss to reliable platforms, zero downtime, and also restore confidence. Technology that I used for this challenge was Spring Boot, where Spring Boot, Java 17, PostgreSQL, and also Swagger. The result, 16 endpoint working, 100% user studies complete, multi-environment deployment, impact customer satisfaction restore, business operation normalize, foundation for future growth. The solution that saves Melly's reputation and restore customer confidence. Thank you for watching this video, and see ya.